everybody. Tom Lafferty along with Joel Boyer. Thanks for being with us here tonight on STSPN.com and our game between the Cedarcrest Red Wolves and the Snohomish Panthers. Today's game is brought to you in part by the Lake Stevens Ace Hardware Store, Fred's Rivertown Ale House, American Family Insurance, G&S Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, by Speedway Chevrolet, by Fox Sports 1380 and FM 95.3, by IRG Murphy's Corner Physical Therapy, and our aerial coverage presented by our friends at McDaniel's Do-It Center. And welcome to Snohomish High School, the Snohomish Panthers, the Cedarcrest Red Wolves. And just before we go on the air, Joel Boyer, I said, you know, a game like this, middle of January, it's really just game number 20 to fill out the schedule. Used to mean absolutely nothing. Now it means something with the new RPI.
Absolutely. These games actually mean so much more that are non-conference games, if you will, at this point of the season. Gives this a chance for you to move up in the RPI with your conference opponents when you're always going head-to-head. Well, there's one winner, one loser. It's just a 500 swap there. But these non-conference games really allow you to bump up in that RPI, or it could work against you if they're not doing as well as you'd like them to do.
Now, you're one of the assistant coaches for the Snohomish girls team, and it's funny, when you play a non-league game early in the season, you want to beat them, and now suddenly you're their biggest fans. You're talking about Mount Spokane.
Absolutely. We after our game last night on the bus ride home, we were looking at our phones. We care about our conference, too, of course. We want to see who's moving up and down there, but we were really checking every opponent we played this year, Kamiak, Monroe, Mount Spokane. We really want to see how those finals are coming out, because if they win, that bumps us up in the RPI. So we become their biggest fans, really wanted them to see them do as best as they could.
We'll talk about playoff possibilities for both these teams as we go along, but let's take a look at tonight's starting lineups for the Cedarcrest Red Wolves. The Red Wolves come in 5-2 in Cascade Conference, 5-8 overall. They'll start Brennan LeBlanc, a 5'7" junior, Emmett Turner, a 6'3" junior, Chris Bush, a 6' junior, Aaron Davenport, a 6' senior, and Grant Soule, a 6'4" senior. For the Snohomish Panthers, 2-4 in league play, Wesco 3A, 4-9 overall. Colton Smith, a 6'3" junior, Jacob Brandvold, a 6'2" sophomore, Louis Balcarcel, a 6' senior, Calvin McDaniel, a 6'3" senior, and Cameron Bonorden, a 6'3" senior. We'll have tonight's opening tip-off and game action coming up next. You're watching high school basketball on STSPN.com.
When you shop at Ace Hardware in Lake Stevens, you not only find what you need, we make sure you get the help you need too. Hi, this is Gray Eaglestead, and I own Lake Stevens Ace Hardware with my wife Christine.
We'll greet you at the door and answer any questions you have about what you need. We're all about serving our customers and our community.
We support local high school sports and many other Lake Stevens organizations and events throughout the year.
So the next time you need something for that job around the house and a little friendly advice, come see us.
Ace Hardware in Lake Stevens. We are the helpful hardware folks.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware folks.
And so here we go, ready for some high school basketball on a Saturday night in Snohomish. Tony Churlin, Kevin Stride, Mike DeLong are the officials, and ready for some basketball. The Cedarcrest Red Wolves coming in off a loss last night, 50-41 to Archbishop Murphy in a league game. They're 2-4 in their last 6 ball games. Snohomish Panthers haven't won in 2018 yet. Losers of 5 straight. They lost last night to Edmonds Woodway 74-49. So we're ready for some basketball. Cedarcrest out there. They're ready to go. Red Wolves across the back. I've never kind of seen, I like that. Across the back where their nameplate might be, but they've put Red Wolves there.
I like it. I like the touch.
So Cedarcrest in the black uniforms, red numbers and letters, some white trim. Snohomish in the home white uniforms, red numbers and trim. Moving from left to right, Tony Churlin has the ball. It's in the heavens, and we are underway here at Snohomish. And it's going to be Cedarcrest with the basketball. Moving to our left. That's Brennan LeBlanc, top of the key. Feeds it down low off the glass and in. And one to start things off here. 11 seconds into the ball game, and Emmett Turner will go to the free throw line and try to give Cedarcrest the early 3-0 lead.
McDaniel for Snohomish right there. Put his hands in the air, just trying to wall him off, but didn't do a great job moving his feet, beating him to the spot right there, drew the foul.
So quickly, it'll be a first personal foul there on Calvin McDaniel. First team foul, and first free throw is good. So that's Turner with the bucket and the free throw, and it's a 3-0 lead here in the early going. Snohomish, their first opportunity with the basketball. That's McDaniel back to the basket at the foul line. Benorden, as the ball goes out of bounds, last touch by a Red Wolf. If you're the Red Wolves, are you singularly a Red Wolf? You're a Panther if you're the Panthers, right?
I think you'd have to be a Red Wolf.
You're a Red Wolf. Baseline jumper, no, blocked, foul. Benorden will go to the free throw line. That one was swatted out of bounds, but the foul is going to be on Emmett Turner. He'll pick up his first personal and the first team foul of the first half here and try to score the first points of the ball game for Snohomish, and the first one will not go.
Turner did a pretty good job there of getting his player to go baseline, but had him really walled off behind the backboard, but bailed him out with that costly foul.
They're going to say a lane violation there, so no bucket. It didn't go anyway.
I guess it wasn't too costly.
It wasn't too costly because they score nothing on that possession, and here comes Cedarcrest. That's a blank top of the key to Bush. Feed it corner, Turner back to the basket. Now we'll dump it down low, left corner now. That 3 ball's on the way. Won't go for LeBlanc. LeBlanc with a miss. And Brandvold grabs the rebound, almost had his pocket picked coming out of backcourt by Aaron Davenport. You got to be paying attention.
Both teams in a man-to-man starting the game out with.
Balcarcel, down low it goes. Smith, no, they're going to say he traveled. They got it to Colton Smith, shuffled the feet. And commits the turnover, and it will be Cedarcrest basketball leading 3-0 here just a minute into the ball game.
Yeah, good move by Smith inside there. Just got to keep that pivot foot down.
Bounce pass, little give and go from Emmett Turner. Lost the handle on it, but then they get it back. Corner, I thought he was going to elevate for the jumper. That was Chris Bush. Tried to feed it inside then off Grant Soule. But they say last touch by Snohomish.
Looks like I get Benorden for a foul right there, actually. Pushing the back on the cut.
So Cameron Benorden with the foul, his first personal foul, second team foul on Snohomish. I looked up and wondered why the fresh 35 on the shot clock. Here's a runner. There's a fresh 35 off the miss. Missed by Bush. Snohomish with it.
I guess that's what they pay me the big bucks for, to catch the 2 things a game you might miss.
Well, you're not going to miss many of these turnovers. Snohomish with 2 trips down the floor and a couple of traveling calls.
Oh, goodness. Those are things that really make Coach Jim Wilson unhappy and really trying to say, let's go ahead and keep our cool. We had both teams had games last night. Your legs are a little dead, but you got to make sure you have that focus in the head.
Cedarcrest with the basketball, 3-0 lead here in the early going, and they're going to have an offensive foul here, kind of away from the basket. I have a feeling Bush, they're going to say Bush? No, they're going to say Grant Soule, trying to grab some a good spot for a rebound.
He had a moving screen right there, getting his shooter open on the wing. Decided to shuffle his feet right there. Didn't didn't get away from Tony Churlin right there.
So Sol, his first personal, second team. Team fouls all even up. Snohomish yet to dent the scoreboard. Balcarcel. That's Benorden. Brandvold wide open, and down it goes, and we're tied at 3. You can't leave a shooter open like that.
Well, Sheriff Tony Churlin just called him for a 2 right there. Said
two.
Had his foot on the line right there on that one.
I really need to pay attention to the ball. I get so much more done.
Hey, you doing back-to-back nights of games too? It's just as hard as these guys. Well, maybe not just as hard.
No. Guarantee you it's not just as hard. And now we're going to have an out-of-bounds play as Cedarcrest commits a turnover.
And it's one thing we're kind of seeing right away. It's kind of that mental focus. It seems like these are two teams that have played.
Are you
plenty
talking about me?
Never. But these players, one of those kind of things, you really want to eliminate those turnovers. The same way we want to make sure we get good calls, I guess, too.
Colton Smith puts it up. No, but it gets his own board. And they're going to say it happened on the ground, so the ball is going to be out of bounds. Smith missed, got an offensive rebound, missed again.
What a great follow by Colton Smith right there. Doing an awesome job. All the young players watching the game. Every time you shoot, you have the best opportunity to get your own rebound if you see where it's going. Follow that shot.
Aaron Davenport picks up the foul, his first third-team foul. Here's Smith for a 3-ball, and it will go down. They like that little spot right over there by the other lane because 2 have gone down from that same spot, and Snohomish takes their first lead of the ball game.
Absolutely, and Cedarcrest is going to understand that Colton Smith's a great scorer at 17 points a game this year. He was left wide open over there, had to yell for the ball, but luckily his teammates found him and got him the ball.
And now we've got a body on the floor. I'm not sure who was trying to fight through the screen. It may have been Balcarcel because suddenly there was a body down on the floor. It's going to be on Calvin McDaniel picks up the foul. Now that's his second personal foul here. Only about almost 3 minutes into the first quarter, and he's got 2 personals.
And Coach Wilson's bench doesn't go too deep for him. He really likes to play 5, sometimes 6 players. So definitely want to see McDaniel stay out of foul trouble for the Panthers.
Snohomish suited 10, Cedarcrest suited 12 coming into the game. So off the foul there. That one had been whistled as Snohomish has the ball off of Brandvold, another turnover, and we go back the other way. Cedarcrest will have the basketball. So both teams kind of just, like you said, they're just tired. They played last night.
And they both had league games last night that are meaning a lot. They're both kind of in the hunt, kind of on the outside looking in for playoffs. All these games, especially league games, really mean a lot.
Tony Churlin calls another moving screen player control foul, and this will be against Cedarcrest as well. And they're going to whistle that one on Brennan LeBlanc. He picks up his first personal foul, and the 4th team foul against the Red Wolves from the Cascade Conference.
You wonder when there's going to be a timeout by a coach to say, hey, everybody relax, but start focusing. Start thinking about what you're doing. Start thinking through your plays. This is too important of a game, as we mentioned with the RPI system the way it is now, to just have a throwaway game. This isn't that game anymore.
Here's Benorden on his way to the rack, puts it up off the window and in, and he will go to the free throw line. Somebody was yelling for a travel there on McDaniel, and the official, Kevin Stride, said no, it was touched by the other player, so he got another bounce.
Yeah, that was a great backdoor cut. Overplay by the Red Wolves, but a great backdoor cut by Benorden right there. McDaniel found him for a cutter to the hoop.
Snohomish up by 4, 7-3, 4:15 to go opening quarter, and Cameron Benorden at the line. Boy, something about this end of the floor, that's another lane. You don't see 3 of those a year, and we've seen 2 tonight.
I think we've had 1 in our season for the Snohomish girls, but I've seen 2 in the last 3.5 minutes.
So no free throw, and it'll be Cedarcrest basketball.
Both teams sticking to their man-to-man pressure defense, picking up at half court. No traps here, but trying to jump out, not let the Red Wolves turn the corner on that screen. That's
Bush with the bounce pass underneath. They tried to get it back to him. He was affected there, and then he traveled. He had it, then he just kind of bounced once or twice as he was trying to retrieve the basketball after it was knocked away, and a turnover gives it over to Snohomish. They'll take it with a 4-point lead on their home floor.
That was the first possession defensively that saw the Panthers. It kind of looked like they dialed up one notch, just kind of the defensive intensity, trying to actually beat players to the spots and not reacting to what happened.
Here's Benorden, turnaround, won't go. surrounded by Red Wolves, and it'll be Cedarcrest basketball. Quickly out of backcourt they come.
And what a great box up by the 5'7" LeBlanc. Not the tallest kid in the court, but all you got to do is get that body in front and you have a good rebound position.
Runner off the window, no good. That's a miss by Bush, and outlet pass goes to Snohomish up the floor. To McDaniel, out to Smith, Balkersell. Finally picked up by the defender, starts the dribble, 22 to shoot. He's got it trapped up by the center line, gave up the dribbles. Now he gets it back from Benorden. 14 to shoot now. Balkersell splits the defense and then got fouled on the way in. Couldn't hit the free throw, or couldn't hit the field goal. So he's got 2 shots coming up here to try to score for Snohomish.
That's one thing Coach Jim Wilson for the Panthers is not going to be happy about, with his point guard is trying to key the offense, picking the ball up by the green volleyball line there. Obviously had to reset and have his teammates come bail him out up top there, but was still able to get into the lane and still able to knock down that free throw. So positive things are still happening amongst all these turnovers, amongst all these focus errors that we're having by both teams so far.
McDaniels with 2 fouls will sit now. 3 minutes to play, opening quarter. Somebody making an obnoxious noise from the Cedarcrest rooting section. But Balkersell says, watch this. I'm going to shoot them both and hit them both. And now the coach, Mark Prince, says, timeout. 2:56 to play. Opening quarter. Snohomish 9, Cedarcrest 3. You're watching high school basketball on STSPN.com.
Did you know that Speedway Chevrolet is part of the Lee Johnson Auto family? That means 84 years of serving you the LJ way. Need a truck? We have the perfect truck to fit your needs. Half tons, 1 ton, 2-wheel drives, and 4-wheel drives. Our finance specialists are here to help you, whether you have good credit or bad credit. We're just off Highway 522 at West Main Street in Monroe.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Here we go. We're live tonight at Snohomish High School, the Keith Gilbertson Senior Sports and Fitness Center here at Snohomish High School. Tom Lafferty along with Joel Boyer. Our statistician, Dylan Wells. Our executive producer is Todd Elvig, who can't hear himself, but he's working on that. He'll endeavor to make that correction. We hear you fine, which is maybe. How about if we can't hear you and you can hear yourself? That would be probably better. Cedarcrest with the basketball. Another player control foul. He didn't like it. Brendan Mallett, and I think each one of them have one, don't they? Each of the officials?
I think so. And that was a great job by Wyatt Wilson moving his feet.
There's a save by Benorden, but it goes into the hands of Cedarcrest, so they'll bring it right back. Cedarcrest stuck at 3. They got an opening 3-point play, and then that has been it so far. Left wing, Logan Siemens. So he kind of reloaded with a new. Bush is the only, I think, remainder in there. Here's an offline shot, top of the key, but put back won't go either by Aaron Davenport. Kept alive by Snohomish. Balkersell then nearly stolen. Now a tie up on the floor. Who's got it? Well, Cedarcrest does. That's Siemens. Dribbles out of trouble. Siemens gets it over in the left corner. Davenport. Now Mallett. Snohomish playing some pretty tough defense, and here is a bad pass, an unforced error there, and it goes out of bounds. Oh, they're going to say it was last touched by – no, it's going to be off of Cedarcrest. I thought it went directly out of bounds.
I thought as well, yeah. No,
I thought everybody was going to go back there.
You had that right, Tom. You had that one right. Don't
question
one in
yourself.
A row.
Well, but what was strange looking is Cedarcrest keeping everybody just about in back court playing full court defense here.
And after that timeout, Coach Mark Prince has seen enough. He wants to see the defensive – pressure down a little bit. He hasn't changed from the man-to-man.
Ooh, but if you're Cameron Benorden, you just stand down and go, hi, here I am.
And I think he got away with the travel, but we won't say that on the air.
11-3 score coming up at a minute and a half to play in the opening quarter. Cascade 2A Conference and the Western Conference 3A battling here tonight. Here's a knockaway by Benorden, and a foul is going to be called. Ooh, that seemed like it's going to be on Cedarcrest.
But Norden was able to tip that ball, loosen it up, and then going for it was held. Looks like he got held by Lance Stuffel.
Stuffel will pick up the foul. That's his first personal foul, and that goes to 8 team fouls on Cedarcrest.
And yes, we are with 1 minute, 28 seconds left in the first quarter. The Panthers will be shooting 1-and-1 or 2 shots every foul for the rest of this half.
Free throw, good. Number 1, he gets 2, or 1-and-1 anyway for Cameron Benorden. Benorden averaging nearly 20 points per ball game. And another one on the way. I can't believe it. Another one. Another lane violation. I haven't seen, that's 3 in the game.
And I think it's been 2 on Benorden and 1 on, might have been McDaniel or Smith. I'm at a loss right now, but I'm at a loss. Tony Churlin's seeing something that maybe, and he's on the line. He's in proper position. I don't have the same angle he does, obviously, but hey, as a shooter, you got to make sure you keep that foot behind that line. So Benorden being a senior, he's a shooter, he's a gunner already. Keep your feet down, son.
Jacob Brandvold picks up that foul, his first personal foul, 4th team foul on Snohomish. Minute 20 to play in the opening quarter, and free throws here for Cedarcrest. Still stuck at 3. They scored their 3 points about 10 seconds into the ball game, and that has been it. And over at the line is Chris Bush there. Up the floor quickly. Wyatt Wilson, he goes to the deck and got pushed down. And 2 shots coming up here. Wyatt Wilson just said, I'm taking it to the rack, and then they took him to the deck.
Well, and that's one of those infamous block charge calls. Was he set? Was he square? Tony Churlin said he wasn't. I think Logan Siemens and Coach Mark Prince would have said sure he was, but it's not their call.
That's where I still think eventually you're going to have that restraining line in high school basketball, like they do in college and pros.
Yeah, and it went to the pros, and then it took a while, and now it is in the college ranks. I think you will. I think it's going to see that restriction line inside, that you have to be outside to take a charge there.
Both free throws, and it's 14-3. It's an 11-point lead for Snohomish, their biggest lead of the ball game. It keeps growing because I think they've had. And 1, 2, 3, they're going to have to come back and try to pick up the spare after all those pins go down. And they're going to call the foul on Jacob Brandvold. That's going to be his second personal foul, and it will send Lance Stuffel to the free throw line for Cedarcrest. See if they can break that 14-3 deadlock. They had problems with the scoreboard during the JV game. I think head coach Mark Prince is saying, hey, check that numbers. We're stuck on 3 there.
Yeah, there you go. Stuffel was able to take that lid off the basket right there, and that was a great take by him. I mean, that was one of the, we hadn't seen it, well, not since probably the first minute or two. A real hard take by one of the Red Wolves to really force that issue, force the Panthers to either get in the air to try to block it or get out of the way and try to let him see if he could finish it. Great job though, taking it hard to the rack.
First one good by Stuffel, second one good, so he does get the 4th and 5th points for Cedarcrest. Calvin McDaniel comes back into the ball game for Snohomish, the final minute of the first quarter. Balcarcel double teamed to Wilson, now to Benorden. Nice pass by Benorden, but Smith gets his own rebound, can't do it. 2 times, back up by Wilson, it won't go. To McDaniel, we should have been getting the rebound totals because Snohomish got 5 rebounds on that possession.
I think
points.
There were 5 offensive rebounds, but just could not cash it in. Oh, and such a heartbreak killer right there for the Red Wolves. Great defensive, well, not a great defensive possession, but holding to no points, but then come down and can't get anything out of it and turn the ball over.
No, could have pulled it to within 7, but instead it's 9 now, the final half minute of the first quarter. Shot clock is dead. As Balcarcel, 10 seconds before they got it over the timeline.
And they're definitely, it didn't really feel like there was the intensity, the energy that you needed to kind of that urgency you need to have to get across that 10-second line. And boys basketball obviously have that 35-second shot clock and a 10-second backcourt.
So Red Wolves final 17.3 of the quarter.
And let's see if Cedarcrest can't get some points here. It would have been Snohomish with the last position of the quarter. Turn it over with that backcourt 10-second call. Now let's see if the Cedarcrest Red Wolves can cash this in for some points.
Top of the key, Austin Ward. Ward with it, back to the basket, nearly throw it away, bounce it on the midcourt stripe, over and back is the call. They won't get the points.
No, they won't, and Coach Mark Prince is trying to pull his short hair out right there. Just two hands on his head saying, what are we doing?
1.3 to go. Corner, Smith won't go. We've played one quarter here at Snohomish High School on a Saturday night. It's Snohomish 14, Cedarcrest 5. We'll come back live here on STSPN.com. McDaniel's Duo Center is located in beautiful Snohomish, Washington, locally owned and operated for more than 40 years. Proud to provide Snohomish, Monroe, Lake Stevens, Everett, and Snohomish County with exceptional hardware, tools, lawn and garden, and sporting goods products. That's McDaniel's Do It Center. Here we go. Second quarter gets underway. Snohomish possession. And it'll be McDaniel, speaking of that, to Smith. Turns around, had a defender right in him, and they just one bounce, and he says, I'm going up, and he did.
Colton Smith, accomplished scorer, really impressed with his ability to elevate, kind of a little bit of a fadeaway to get away from the defender and still have great touch on that backboard.
Little pass on it. You talked about Colton's older sister.
Yeah, I don't think he wants me to talk about her since I was privileged enough to get a coach her, but sorry, Colton. His sister, Madeline Smith, played for the Panthers. Graduated a couple years ago, was on that team that got second in state 2 years ago, and is now playing basketball for Montana State and having a great sophomore season for him.
Austin Ward picks up the foul. That's his first personal foul. 10th team foul. Double bonus rest of the way for Snohomish in the first half. Luis Balcarcel, first free throw, no. The lead is 11, Snohomish equaling their biggest lead of the game. Chris Bush checks back in. Jet Wilkinson comes in as well. Wilkinson, a senior at 6'6". He's a big guy. Next free throw, no. Short arm that one, and it'll be Cedarcrest basketball.
Wilkinson with the instant rebound.
And a travel. A travel there on Cedarcrest, Brandon Northrup. Just one or two extra steps.
Just a couple. Kevin Stride, Tony Cherlin. No. Just two tonight.
Yeah. That's McDaniel.
Ooh.
I heard the slap from up here, but no call. But they're going to finally get a foul. Instead of on the steal, it'll be coming out of the backcourt, and it will be Chris Bush who picks up the foul, and that's his third personal.
No, they're going to get Calvin McDaniel on that.
Excuse me.
They're going to get McDaniel after the ball was stolen from him. So he just picked up his third foul with the 7:08 left in the second quarter.
It's Sharp just about entered the look. Here's stealing a basket there by Balcarcel.
Oh boy.
Did you see?
Oh boy.
Cameron Sparks just about entered the go with the power play.
Yeah. You know, it's one of those you got to remember you got to get waved on by an official before you get to enter the field.
Here's a runner that won't go. Kind of frustrated there was Chris Bush. Battle for the rebound, finally picked up there by Cedarcrest. Wilkinson with it, put up an arm. Kicks it back out for an up fake for a three, and he traveled with the basketball. Probably should have just shot the three. Lance Stupful, instead of shooting the three, commits a turnover, and it's Snohomish basketball.
And that's one thing. It appears a lot of these Red Wolves are just being flustered a little bit by the Snohomish man-to-man defense. They're trying to get an extra half-step advantage, but can't move that back foot until you have the ball hit the floor.
Cameron Sparks will check in. Carter Sparks, checks in. McDaniel sits with 3 personals. Ball knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Cedarcrest. Snohomish keeps it with 25 on the shot clock. 6:23 to go in the first half. Smith. Benorden back to Smith and off his fingers and into the seats, and it'll be right back over to Cedarcrest. Cedarcrest has scored 5 points in the first half.
Aaron Davenport checking back in for the Red Wolves. Averages just under 11 points a game on the season. Let's see if they can't get him going a little bit in this last 6 minutes of the second quarter, possibly cut into this 13-point lead that's been growing for the Panthers.
And here's a bucket underneath. Jet Wilkinson with the bucket for the Cedarcrest Red Wolves.
Great pass by Stupful right there on the back door by Wilkinson. Finding him as he cuts through the lane. See if they can't just get this. And it's not out of the realm. They're only down 11 right now, but they definitely need some points to cut this down to 6 or 7 or 8 probably for the second half.
We have a reach foul here. I think it's going to be on Benorden, who lost the handle on the basketball and then was trying to just reach back and retrieve it back from the guy that took it from him. And he's called for the foul. That's his second personal. 7th team foul, so that puts Cedarcrest now into the bonus the rest of the half. Wilkinson, ball stripped, pocket picked. Down comes Colton Smith. Lost the handle. Back the other way we go. It's a 5-on-4 break as Smith is late to the party. Lay-in no, and then a foul called. And that'll put a Red Wolf to the free throw line. That'll be Chris Bush who will be there.
Bush, another player for the Red Wolves, averaging 11 and a half a game, I believe. We want to see if he can't use a couple free throws, maybe get his shooting stroke going.
Not yet.
Not yet.
That one rims out. So another one coming up here. We mentioned Cedarcrest last night lost to Archbishop Murphy 50-41. Meanwhile, Snohomish was losing their 5th straight, losing to Edmonds Woodway 74-49. The lead is 10 now for Snohomish after that free throw. Luis Balcarcel brings it up. Puts up the left hand, just pushes the defender away. Says, Lance, get out of my way. That's Wilson. Now down to Smith. Got the basketball, kind of a high pass. Looked like some of the passes for the Eagles early on in the game this afternoon. A little high, Nick, a little high.
Well, it came out for a win, though, so they can be a little high as long as they go to the next week. But right there, it looks like the Red Wolves are really content to trail on those cuts. There wasn't really a screen right there that Smith came off of, as much as just a hard cut.
And we're going to take a break. 5:03 to play in the first half. Hold that thought.
Yeah.
21-8, Snohomish timeout. Snohomish with the lead. You're watching STSPN.com.
We are all frustrated with the high cost of heating and cooling our homes. At GNS, we are completely changing the way you keep your home comfortable. Our Mitsubishi electric cooling and heating system allows you to control the temperature in each room separately, all of which can be controlled from your smartphone or tablet. And because we are the mini split experts here in Washington, we can design a perfect system for you, one that will save you a lot of money on your utility bill. Call GNS Heating, Cooling, and Electrical today or visit us at gsheating.com.
Welcome back here. It was kind of an awkward-looking timeout.
It was one of those referee Mike DeLong awarded the timeout to head coach Jim Wilson of the Panthers after the Red Wolves had already advanced the ball to half court on the dribble. Sometimes you get those where they called the timeout and you maybe fumble with your whistle, but that must have fumbled with it a couple times right there. But nonetheless, Red Wolves ball coming to the Panthers.
So Cedarcrest with the ball. They're going to call a jump ball there.
Well, Benorden got a little lucky there, reaching his hands in on that high pick. The Panthers are hedging that hard, looking for the initial trap, but Benorden reached his hands in, which is kind of one of those potentially deadly sins if you're going to reach into a trap and get a foul called. Luckily, got the jump ball instead.
It's Aaron Davenport. Now down low it goes. Back out for Bush, who will shoot a 3 and hit it. Chris Bush with a 3 ball in the corner. Closes the gap to 10 one more time at 21-11.
Good find by Northrup to kick that ball out to his shooter. The Red Wolves now looks like in a 1-3-1. Not sure if they're trapping it or not, but a 1-3-1 defense.
Balcarcel, bounce pass out to Sparks. Back to Balcarcel, open for a 3, down it goes. Answering a 3 with a 3, and it's back to a 13-point lead for Snohomish.
Yeah, and that's one of those killers right there. I know we still have 4 minutes left in the second quarter. We still got some time, but definitely a killer right there. After getting that 3-pointer to go, Panthers answering it themselves.
And rewarded for his efforts for picking up a loose ball, Jet Wilkinson travels with the basketball, commits the turnover, and it goes over to Snohomish with a 13-point lead just about halfway through the second quarter.
These are a lot of mental errors, Tom. These are the kinds of things that you know as a young player you're taught not to travel, and these older players, varsity players, they know that, but those are just mental errors, and those things have got to get cleaned up at halftime if the Red Wolves want to cut back into this game and see if they can't pull one out in the second half.
20 to shoot. Balcarcel, just a little underhanded shuttle pass to Colton Smith, who lays it up and in, and Snohomish with their biggest lead of the ball game, up by 15 points.
What a great feed by Balcarcel right there. That's real pretty.
That's Bush with a spin move, sandwiched, gets his own rebound, and then Benorden did a nice job, went up, kind of volleyballed it to himself to avoid getting the over-the-back foul, but then Snohomish unable to complete on the other end, and we go back the other way as Logan Siemens brings it down, and then going underneath is Bush, and the blocking foul is going to be called. As Bush, he's a quick guy.
He's very quick right there. Benorden kind of let himself get his feet caught in cement, did not anticipate the drive, and you want to be funneling them to the baseline anyway in that man-to-man defense by Coach Wilson. You want to push him to that baseline, but Benorden got himself caught. That left foot didn't get it around in time.
And he picks up his 3rd personal foul, 9th team foul. And so Benorden will go to the bench, and Jim Wilson has to go to Chase Taylor to put him in. So McDaniel and Benorden both with 3 personal fouls.
Well, this might be one of those things we need to mark down right here at the 3:15 mark. Benorden go to the bench, joining his teammate Calvin McDaniel, the starter. They have a 14-point lead when he goes to the bench. Let's see what happens the rest of this half, what that halftime deficit or difference could be. Not deficit.
There's a ball that's going to be kicked into back court, and it's going to go out of bounds. Last touch by Cedarcrest. As it was kicked, Balcarcel was smart enough to just lay back and let it go out of bounds, and then one of the Cedarcrest Red Wolves kind of dove for it.
Just a little surprised they didn't call a kickball on that. He intentionally put his leg out there.
Well, knee, is that considered kicking?
That's considered a kick still if you intentionally extend your leg. But what do I know?
Corner shot, no, by Taylor. Saved from going out of bounds. Nicely done there by Wilson. And now Balcarcel will set up the half-court offense. 28 to shoot. Ball looked like it was ping-ponged around there a little bit as well. Balcarcel, Sparks. They're just really trying to get it to Smith, but he's been double-teamed the last couple times. 14 seconds to shoot. Now Smith has it. Taylor over to Balcarcel, shoots a 3. That's pretty good. You work about 28 seconds down, and then you bang a 3 from about 27 feet.
Absolutely, and that's a real pretty release by Balcarcel right there. Got that shot off quickly with the defender closing, but real pretty bottom of the net.
2 minutes to play in the first half. Biggest lead of the game, 17 points for Snohomish. Little jump through move, and a foul is going to be called. As Stupful had it, they're going to say, I think it doesn't matter, it's 2 shots anyway, because that's going to put him into the double bonus both ways, 10th team foul. The foul is going to be on Taylor, his first personal.
Well, the Panthers might have dodged the boat right there because that was on Colton. Colton Smith committed the foul, but they reported it as Chase Taylor, which Chase Taylor being the looking at his coaching staff like, hey,
me?
Coach, I wasn't even near that one. And Colton Smith like, shh, don't tell anybody.
They put 2 up, and I'm sure that's who they gave the foul to. Well, he's smart enough to know, too, like, I'll take one of those.
Yeah.
For Colt. If I can leave Colton out there, I'll take one.
Colton Smith's averaging 17 a game with Benorden, the other leading scorer for the Panthers on the bench at 3 fouls. You definitely don't want to see Colton Smith have to go to the bench with some foul trouble.
Ball nearly goes out of bounds. Sparks saves it. Minute 42 to play. In the first half, the lead is 16 points for Snohomish. Colton Smith with it, 15 to shoot.
The Red Wolves have really extended themselves here. Really extended themselves to that defense.
And now they're going to call a foul here on Wyatt Wilson.
With a moving pick on the backside. My eyes weren't there, but that's what they're calling right there.
Because it was way away from the basketball.
It was definitely away. But you can see the Red Wolves really trying to create opportunities for the Panthers to not be able to get into their offense by keeping them really out by that volleyball center court line.
That is Chris Bush with the bucket for Cedarcrest. 29-15 the score. Minute 11 to play, first half. Little give and go to Balcarcel. Knocked over the defender. You know what? I don't like that call. And I don't like the fact that Kevin Stride was standing over by the Fellowship Church across on Avenue D to make it either.
Yeah, you know, in all honesty, I think it was the right call, but I agree with you. I don't know if I like it just for the fact that.
From the backside, you can't make that call.
It's tough, and it's tough to see if the defender has got his feet set. I believe he did. I think it was the right call, but
yeah.
I'm with you. I'm not sure I was a fan of it.
That's Bush a couple times down the floor, and Bush bangs another one down, and it's down to 11 points. It was 17 a little bit ago. Sparks out of backcourt for Snohomish. Balcarcel nearly lost the handle on it. 28 to shoot, 35 on the halftime clock. Now Taylor kicks it out as they work it around. Down to 19 to shoot now. Sparks, Wilson. Back out to Sparks again. Back to Wilson, down to 11 to shoot. Dump it down to Colton Smith, won't go. Kind of an off balance, probably not the shot they were looking for. And Bush, a couple of buckets last time down, and then coming down and not able to get a handle on it was Grant Soule. The ball went out of bounds. Oh, last touch by Snohomish. You don't like that call either.
It was an interesting call, Tom. It was an interesting call is what we'll say.
And
we'll
now,
see. Oh, and referee Kevin Stride is very adamant about that. Coach Jim Wilson's looking at him saying, I know you're all the way across the court, but I don't see the same thing as you. And this is one of those opportunities right here. The Red Wolves have been down. If they can get a bucket to go right here, a 2 or a 3, either way, or I should say a 3 or a 2, it's going to be single digits for them at halftime, which is a pretty impressive feat for them to come back after being down 17 just a little bit ago.
Long time to get it in. Have they? No, he throws it right into the hands of Balcarcel. Long down the floor he goes to Wilson. Can't get it, but Smith does and lays it up and in at the horn. That's a revolting development if you're a Cedarcrest Red Wolves fan.
That is a horrible way to end the half for them to go from a potential of being single digits to go from being an 11-point deficit. Now you're down 13. What a dagger at the last second buzzer there for the half.
So we are at the half here at Snohomish High School. The Snohomish Panthers leading the Cedarcrest Red Wolves 31-18. Thanks for being with us here on STSPN.com.
We are all frustrated with the high cost of heating and cooling our homes. At GNS, we are completely changing the way you keep your home comfortable. Our Mitsubishi electric cooling and heating system allows you to control the temperature in each room separately, all of which can be controlled from your smartphone or tablet. And because we are the mini split experts here in Washington, we can design a perfect system for you, one that will save you a lot of money on your utility bill. Call GNS Heating, Cooling, and Electrical today or visit us at gsheating.com.
Did you know that Speedway Chevrolet is part of the Lee Johnson Auto family? That means 84 years of serving you the LJ way. Need a truck? We have the perfect truck to fit your needs. Half tons, 1 ton, 2-wheel drives, and 4-wheel drives. Our finance specialists are here to help you, whether you have good credit or bad credit. We're just off Highway 522 at West Main Street in Monroe.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
We are all frustrated with the high cost of heating and cooling our homes. At GNS, we are completely changing the way you keep your home comfortable. Our Mitsubishi electric cooling and heating system allows you to control the temperature in each room separately, all of which can be controlled from your smartphone or tablet. And because we are the mini split experts here in Washington,
Snohomish, and is that the Snohomish girls team out supporting the guys on a Saturday night?
That sure looks like him. After a big win last night against Edmonds Woodway, they figure, what else do I have to do on a 3-day weekend Saturday night but come watch the boys play?
I'm Tom Lafferty with Joel Boyer, statistician Dylan Wells. Our executive producer is Todd Elvig. Let's take a look at some of the scoring from the first half between Cedarcrest and Snohomish.
Well, the Panthers are paced by the 12 points of Colton Smith, the 10 points of Luis Balcasal, 5 points from Cameron Bernorden, 2 points from Jacob Brandvold, and 2 points from Wyatt Wilson. The Cedarcrest Red Wolves were paced by the 10 points of Chris Bush, so a point off his average for the season, the 3 points from Emmett Turner, the 3 points from Lance Stupfel, and the 2 points from Jet Wilkinson.
And that is where we are at halftime, with Snohomish with a 13-point lead. Cedarcrest at the end of the first half, though, had a chance to cut it to single figures, just couldn't quite pull the trigger.
Yeah, and you see Cedarcrest coming out here with a 2-3 zone. We hadn't seen that all first half. Obviously, Coach Mark Prince wants to see something different. Real high trap right there on the wing, usually higher than you might want to see, but Norton was able to kind of follow his way through the trap. Got a foul called on the Red Wolves right there.
It's going to be on Aaron Davenport, his second personal foul, first team foul of the second half. Snohomish retains possession, a fresh 35 on the shot clock, and that's Luis Balcarcel with the basketball.
And you see Colton Smith for the Panthers being that baseline runner, it appears, just trying to find himself some empty space. He cuts high, maybe trying to move around as he's one of the better shooters in this team.
It's a nice little dump off from Balcarcel to Bernorden for the bucket, and it's 33-18, 15-point lead. Snohomish is led by as much as 17 points in this ball game. Now Red Wolves with their first possession of the second half. As they swing it around the left side, and dribbling in is the leading scorer for Cedarcrest, Chris Bush. He's got it. Now dump it down low. That's Jet Wilkinson. It won't go. Excuse me, it wasn't. It was Grant Soul who missed. And it will be Snohomish basketball bringing it out of back court. Minute 10 into the second half.
Coach Jim Wilson electing to start Wyatt Wilson in the second half over Jacob Brandvold. Brandvold with those 2 personal fouls still on the bench. But both Calvin McDaniel and Cameron Norton with the 3 fouls for the Panthers are coming back in the second half to start it.
I'm guessing that Brandvold's a pretty good three-point shooter, and if we get to a point at the end, Jim's probably thinking, if we need to put that weapon in, we have it.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things, too. It's like Brandvold being a little bit younger player, underclassman. It might be that thing if you just kind of felt Wilson had a little bit more of a feel at the end of the half that he wanted to keep him going. But either way, you're still going to have a nice starter coming off the bench with some fresh legs later on if you need him.
Tough luck shot there by Chris Bush. It went deep in the well and comes back out. Balcazar brings it down, doesn't have the numbers, so he kind of slows things down.
And we see off that missed basket, the Red Wolves going back to a man-to-man that they end the whole first half. It might be one of those make or miss 2-3 versus man-to-man. Missed right there by Wyatt Wilson on the three-pointer.
And that'll be out of backcourt for LeBlanc. Leaves it for Bush. Looked like a travel there.
Yeah.
Instead, he got it into the hands of his teammate, but a little reverse lay-in by Aaron Davenport won't go. Now Bernorden gets it in front court. A little high on the pass, looking for McDaniel. The ball goes out of bounds, and so it will be right back over to Cedarcrest.
And that's not good for the Red Wolves as number 34, Aaron Davenport, their second leading scorer, limped off the court right there. Under his own power, but limped off the court. Looked like he might have turned an ankle in that last play. Hopefully he's able to shake that off, come back, and be just fine. He's waving off the training staff right now, saying I'll be okay. So maybe just a roll. You can get back in it here.
Are they going to put up the tent?
I do not see a tent coming up. However, after that last pass by Bernorden was a little high, and we talked about the Nick Foles reference from the Eagles game, we could be seeing a tent. You never know.
So it's going to be Snohomish basketball after Cedarcrest commits the turnover. They've yet to score here in the second half. 33-18 the score. Snohomish with the lead by 15 points.
And this is one of those games you can kind of just feel it's a difficult thing for the Red Wolves. They're going to want to try to just chip into this slowly. There's no 15-point shot on the court, obviously. There's no magic way of scoring a boatload of barrage on one possession. Just slowly chip away with a stop, a score, and a stop, or back-to-back scores and those kinds of things that you can just slowly get your way back into this game.
Or a near turnover by Snohomish. Now that's Smith. Bernorden baseline. Knocks over the defender. They'll call. That's a good call.
It is, but it's also going to be Cameron Bernorden's fourth personal foul at the 4:58 mark left in the third quarter. Coach Jim Wilson shaking his head right there at his senior.
So he will bring a player off the bench. That'll be Chase Taylor. But you're trading a 5'9" guy for a 6'3" guy. Foul called underneath as Cedarcrest had the basketball, but a foul is going to be whistled here on Cedarcrest. Emmett Turner. And it's going to be Turner's third personal foul, third team foul of the second half. Bernorden will go to the bench for Snohomish. And Chase Taylor does check in.
And you see this backcourt pressure right here by the Red Wolves. Looks just like a simple man-to-man press. Probably hoping they might dribble into a trap for him, but just see if they can't get a turnover or cause them to do something they don't want to do like that.
Like that? Throw
like
a bad
that.
pass, and it's going to be intercepted there. And grabbed by Cedarcrest. Here come the Red Wolves. Open three, ball in the corner. Down it will go for Chris Bush, leading scorer of the ball game for Cedarcrest. And bangs a three down and makes it now 33-21. The lead is a dozen for Snohomish.
And again, it's that simple, that score. They just had a score. Excuse me, they had a stop and they had a score. Now let's see if the Red Wolves can't get another stop right here and just kind of start to string together 1, 2, 3, 4 possessions in a row of positive things happening for them to slowly get back into this game.
4-minute mark to play, third quarter. That's Smith. Balkersell wide open. Balkersell is just Mr. Answer, isn't he? That's twice tonight that he's answered a 3 for 3.
Absolutely, and just as I'm getting excited for the Red Wolves, maybe getting back into this game, Balkersell says, no. I got an answer for you.
Yeah. Here's a lay-in. Good. And one coming up here for Emmett Turner. Just kind of found a crease down through the middle of the defense, and they will call the blocking foul here on Snohomish's on Chase Taylor, his second personal foul.
Yeah, and Taylor wasn't going to be able to get that ball anyway, but he just kind of made that mental error of maybe seeing it slide over, hoping he could draw a charge, but nowhere near, and just bumped him along the way, but didn't really affect the shot.
So free throw here for Turner won't go. Averages 4.3 points per ball game. Misses that. The lead is 13 points for Snohomish. And the Panthers on their home floor in their white jerseys will have the basketball. McDaniel, high post back to the basket. Balkersell open for another three. That one won't go. It wasn't an answer, so it won't go for Balkersell. He's just Mr. Answer. Call him the answer man.
Colton Smith right there. Really impressed with Smith's intensity as a player, not just as a scorer, but willing to kind of be that garbage man, trying to do all the little things needed to will his team to this win.
Timeout called by Cedarcrest. 3:20 to go in the third quarter. It's 36-23 Snohomish. STSPN.com.
When you shop at Ace Hardware in Lake Stevens, you not only find what you need, we make sure you get the help you need too. Hi, this is Gray Eaglestead, and I own Lake Stevens Ace Hardware with my wife Christine.
We'll greet you at the door and answer any questions you have about what you need. We're all about serving our customers and our community.
We support local high school sports and many other Lake Stevens organizations and events throughout the year.
So the next time you need something for that job around the house and a little friendly advice, come see us.
Ace Hardware in Lake Stevens, we are the helpful hardware folks.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
At IRG, we assess the unique aspects of a patient's condition and develop a recovery plan tailored to his or her specific needs. Our rehabilitative experts use a variety of physical therapy techniques in a friendly, supportive atmosphere. IRG Physical and Hand Therapy with about 7,000 locations. But we're mainly talking about IRG at Murphy's Corner in Mill Creek. Here we go. Back to action. 3:20 to play in the third quarter. Snohomish ball. Overplay on the defense. Smith gets it back. Back out to Balkersell. As they just work the corner, and that three released by Chase Taylor will not go. And Cedarcrest grabs the rebound. Stupful. Out to LeBlanc. Fakes one way, goes the other, dumps it off. Here's an underhanded lay-in. Nice play there. Little dump off, and the bucket is up, and it is in by Brendan Mallett, and it's down to an 11-point lead for Snohomish. Smith to Taylor. Now Balkersell. Looking, almost knocked away. Now he's double teamed. Now Smith to Taylor. Baseline, little jumper, converged upon by two Red Wolves. I think Brendan Mallett's going to be the guilty party. See what Tony Cherlin tells us. Like I said, it's going to be Chris Bush who picks up the foul. Well, one was on one side, one was on the other.
Well, I guess he wanted the right hand versus the left hand side. I'm not quite sure, but Caleb Bush only with the second personal.
First free throw is good. Lead back to 12 for Snohomish. They've led by as much as 17. Cedarcrest had an early 3-0 lead. And then they were stuck on three for a long, long time. Next free throw good. 2:22 to play third quarter.
Panthers are staying in that man-to-man, not switching on-ball screens. It's been the same defense all game long.
LeBlanc will put it down from three-point range. That was an NBA three, too. That was way out there, and he put it down and makes it a 10-point lead. Now for Snohomish, full court pressure. Those long up-court passes is going to make Jim Wilson, the head coach, get more gray hair, too.
Absolutely. That ball's in the air a long time on that pass by Smith.
Little play underneath, and nothing comes of it for Wyatt Wilson. And here comes Cedarcrest, chance to pull it into single digits. They'll give it off to Chris Bush. Fakes over to the right side, goes left, and the ball knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Snohomish. Cedarcrest retains possession. Never really, no, they're going to say, I was thinking that there was never a change of possession. They say there was. They'll reset to 35.
I'm with you. I'm not really sure Smith had possession. I mean, I guess it was a controlled tip, but
right there on the edge.
Yeah,
right
and Coach Jim Wilson's looking at him, just grab the ball, to pick it up. Don't try to tap it to a teammate. It looked like Smith might have been able to put two hands on it and grab it, but
long outside three, and down it will go for Brennan LeBlanc. And it's a 7-point lead.
LeBlanc with back-to-back threes right there. The Red Wolves with this a little bit tougher, a little more trapping backcourt pressure.
Now Wilson will throw nearly a bad pass. In fact, it was a bad pass because it led Calvin McDaniel to stand on the end line, and it's out of bounds. And a chance to pull even closer for Cedarcrest after the Snohomish timeout. 1:17 to go in the third, 38-31. Panthers leading the Red Wolves. This is STSPN.com.
Your dreams evolve, and with committed support, they thrive. American Family Insurance.
We are all frustrated with the high cost of heating and cooling our homes. At GNS, we are completely changing the way you keep your home comfortable. Our Mitsubishi electric cooling and heating system allows you to control the temperature in each room separately, all of which can be controlled from your smartphone or tablet. And because we are the mini split experts here in Washington, we can design a perfect system for you, one that will save you a lot of money on your utility bill. Call GNS Heating, Cooling, and Electrical today or visit us at gsheating.com.
At Snohomish High School tonight, Tom Lafferty with Joel Boyer, statistician Dylan Wells, Todd Elvig at the controls for STSPN.com. Thanks for being with us here on a Saturday night. Coming up on a minute to play in the third quarter. Snohomish now down only to a 7-point lead.
Those 2 threes by LeBlanc.
How about a scoop bucket up and in by Brennan Mallett, and it's a 5-point lead.
Oh, boy. You know, the Panthers could really use Cameron Bernorden coming off the bench here, but with those 4 fouls, Coach Jim Wilson can't chance it quite yet, I'd say.
Probably wait till the end of the quarter. Snohomish in front court now. Balkersell nearly lost it off a very high pass there by Wilson. Sparks with it. Now Balkersell, 13 to shoot. Looking for somebody to cut through. 7 seconds to shoot. And they're going to call an illegal screen here on Snohomish.
You know, that's an interesting call. I thought he was pretty set myself, but referee Kevin Stride says he upped his elbows and put him out there. So
first personal on Sparks, third team foul, 19 seconds to go. Shot clock is dead. Reverse scoop lay-in won't go. 2 shots coming up here. As going hard to the deck there was Sam Frank. And Frank will go to the free throw line for Cedarcrest. Trying to whittle even more and more into this lead.
And McDaniel picking up his 4th foul. The second Panther starter with 4 fouls.
First free throw, no. A lane violation.
What?
That's 4 lane violations. We've now reached our quota for the next 3 years.
Tom, this doesn't happen, but I'm speechless.
It never happens. I've never seen that before.
Me being speechless, or 4
yes.
4 lane violations in a game.
Balkersell. Good defense here. Down to 3, down to 2. Dribbling in. No, Smith can't get it, and that will be it. And we will head into the 4th and final quarter with a renewed sense of vigor for the Cedarcrest Red Wolves. They're down by only 5, 38-33. We come back with the 4th and final quarter right here on STSPN.com.
Did you know that Speedway Chevrolet is part of the Lee Johnson Auto family? That means 84 years of serving you the LJ way. Need a truck? We have the perfect truck to fit your needs. Half tons, 1 ton, 2-wheel drives, and 4-wheel drives. Our finance specialists are here to help you, whether you have good credit or bad credit. We're just off Highway 522 at West Main Street in Monroe.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
We are all frustrated with the high cost of heating and cooling our homes. At GNS, we are completely changing the way you keep your home comfortable. Our Mitsubishi electric cooling and heating system allows you to control the temperature in each room separately, all of which can be controlled from your smartphone or tablet. And because we are the mini split experts here in Washington, we can design a perfect system for you, one that will save you a lot of money on your utility bill. Call GNS.
And here we go, 4th and final quarter, and almost a brand new ball game. Just a 5-point lead for Snohomish, and Cedarcrest will get it. Bush, ball stripped. Balkersell
Nice
with the steal.
Real nice hands.
Brings it down. Can they complete it back out for the 3 ball on the way? Good! And 1 for a possible 4-point play. Is it rule number 3 or 4? Don't foul a guy that's shooting a 3.
Well, don't foul a jump shooter is number 1. Number 2 would be don't foul him on a 3-point attempt.
So Smith puts it down. And now Tony Cherlin's having a little chat with a couple of the guys. I think they've been pushing and shoving on each other. Free throw, good. A 4-point play for Colton Smith. So what was a 5-point lead is now out to a 9-point lead for Snohomish. Underneath, bucket, no. The lay-in, no. And goes out of bounds. It's going to remain in the possession of Cedarcrest as Lance Stupful had kind of a point-blank little lay-in that would not go. But Bush will throw it in from the baseline for Cedarcrest. We're half a minute into the fourth and final quarter. Looking to throw it in way high to LeBlanc. Dribbles along the right side. Little spin move there, too hard off the side of the iron, but again, kept alive by Cedarcrest. That miss by Frank. Tough defense here by Snohomish.
Really good defensively. Obviously, you don't want to give up that extra possession with that offensive rebound. But they played a tough defensive possession right there for over 45 seconds. Unfortunately, Wilson has a foul at the end of it to put the Red Wolves back at the line.
Wyatt Wilson will pick up his third personal foul. Fifth team foul. We're all even at 5 team fouls each. Chris Bush at the free throw line.
This is that important thing for the Red Wolves. Is they want to really break into that like we've talked about, but you want to make sure you do it early enough like they have, but they want to keep this, that 4-point play for Colton Smith for the Panthers really hurt him. But you want to get this to a point where you can kind of have one final push but have enough legs for it. You don't want to have so much that you couldn't overcome the lead at the very end, just trying to get back into it.
And still holding Benorden on the bench. We're a minute into the fourth quarter.
Oh, boy.
And a bad pass.
You know, Jerry Salvalina is working the Snohomish, the bench right there. Boy.
But he hasn't played in a long time.
It's a really good thing Tanner Perry's from a former DB for the Panthers and the PLU Lutz could get that ball deflected for him.
Here's a driving lay-in. It's up and in for Cedarcrest. Lance Stupful, and it's back now to a 5-point lead. Snohomish, I don't think, has been across the center line here in the last minute or so. Balkersell finally. McDaniel, ball knocked out of bounds.
And this is one of those things that Jim Wilson's been able to keep Benorden on the bench when you have a 10-point, 9-point lead.
Right.
When it gets to 5, it gets to 3 possibly, you kind of have to trust him and say, don't foul, but you got to get back in the game, son.
Aaron Davenport knocks that ball away. Yeah, Cedarcrest has just really come out on fire here in the last portion of the third quarter. That's Smith with his back to the basket. They're not allowing him anything, and now they're going to call a reach foul. A little bit too vociferous there. Lance Stupful will be called for the foul. That'll be the 6th team foul, and that will be the second personal foul on Stupful.
And
Snohomish ball.
And Colton Smith for the Panthers is just on cue right there, a little chippy with about 4 feet away, but he goes at 6'3", but 6'3", about probably $160 or no more than. But he's their biggest inside presence for the Panthers. You look at them trying to post him up a little bit. It's not ideal, but he's pretty crafty inside with that, affectionately said, the old man's game to go along with the 3-point touch he has.
That was a big possession there by Chris Bush for Cedarcrest, and he couldn't get the lay-in to go. They had one opportunity, and Snohomish will take it back. Leading it now by 7. Being exhorted on by their fans that have made the trip over here from Carnation. I did have somebody ask me, I said, well, I'm doing the Cedarcrest, like, Tolt. Oh, that's an old timer.
Absolutely.
Carnation High School.
And I always love that Cedarcrest Middle School does not feed Cedarcrest High School, one being in Marysville, the other one being over in Tolt.
That's Tolt Middle School, and that's the old high school.
There you go.
Right there in downtown Carnation. That's another area that's growing.
Yes.
As the urban sprawl is heading out towards East King County.
You're starting to see some of those Redmond executives
Yeah.
settling in where? Carnation?
Yeah. Free throw good by Colton Smith. The lead is 8 points now for Snohomish. Behind the back dribble, scoop lay-in, will not go. Missed by Mallet, and Smith grabs the rebound. Still Benorden on the bench. 5:35 to play. That's Sparks. Oh, bad pass. Looking for Smith, but it's going to be intercepted by Bush. The lane is good. That time he got the lay-in off to the steal, and it's 45-39. The lead is 6 points for the Panthers.
And Mark Prince for Cedarcrest puts the pressure back on. that backcourt pressure, trying to influence a bad pass. And the travel right there by the Panthers, trying to impact a bad pass right there. And they're just getting enough of a little helter-skelterness for the Panthers, making some decisions that aren't great ones.
We'll take a break. 5:10 to go in the game. 45-39 Snohomish. Back after this.
When you shop at Ace Hardware in Lake Stevens, you not only find what you need, we make sure you get the help you need too. Hi, this is Gray Eaglestead, and I own Lake Stevens Ace Hardware with my wife Christine.
We'll greet you at the door and answer any questions you have about what you need. We're all about serving our customers and our community.
We support local high school sports and many other Lake Stevens organizations and events throughout the year.
So the next time you need something for that job around the house and a little friendly advice, come see us.
Ace Hardware in Lake Stevens, we are the helpful hardware folks.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware folks.
Yes.
We're live tonight here at Snohomish. Our next game on STSPN is Tuesday night. Kamiak at Lake Stevens on the boys' side. Our next game on Fox Sports 1380 FM 95.3 is the Coaches versus Cancer game coming up. Boys' game, Snohomish at Arlington on Tuesday night. And we're going to have a foul called here. And they're going to whistle this one on Luis Balcarcel. That'll be his second personal foul, sixth team foul. So out of bounds for Cedarcrest, down by 6.
And the next foul both ways is going to be free throws for either team. So we're going to see the last 5 minutes of this game with a lot of free throws being shot.
Trying to fight his way through was Emma Turner, came away empty. And here comes Turner trying to make up for it, and he commits the foul in backcourt on Colton Smith, and that'll send Smith to the free throw line. Then, moving over to, I thought Benorden was coming in. He just moved over 2 chairs.
Yeah, it looks like Coach Craig Davis, assistant coach there for Jim Wilson, is talking him through. When you get back in this game, it's been a while, I know, but once you get back in it, first of all, don't foul. Second of all, move your feet. Third, take care of the basketball.
First free throw good. The foul had been called on Turner, his 4th. So here are the final 4:50 of this game. We're going to start losing players.
It's going to be interesting to see. The Panthers have gone much deeper than they usually go for Jim Wilson on a given night due to this foul trouble, but they've been able to survive so far.
Corner 3, rattles off, won't go. That would have been huge. It would not go. A miss there for Logan Siemens, and Snohomish gets it. Being pushed and shoved in backcourt, and a bad pass up the floor. Goal goes out of bounds. Well, I know that Colton Smith thought he got fouled. I thought he got fouled. The guys in the stripes didn't think he got fouled.
I thought he got fouled twice, but no one asked my opinion on that one. But at the same time, Colton's got to be a little smarter on that. I'd tell him as a coach to say, hold the ball.
Yeah.
Pick it up.
Corner 3, good. Up and in and good for Logan Siemens. The lead is 5 points again for Snohomish. Oh, and they're going to call an offensive foul. That's a good call. Colton Smith lowered the shoulder and gave him the business.
I think Colton got his money's worth, but at the same time, Emmett Turner not gotten the call the last one. I think he was really looking for that big play to spark his team. And you know what? A lot of times, I know you have high school boys that can dunk the basketball. Don't get me wrong. They absolutely are athletic enough to do so. But a charge, an offensive foul like that can sometimes be as equivalent to a dunk at times, just to spark your team to have a little bit more energy.
On the inbounds here. And is a step-through move, goes up, no. One more time, no. For Turner. And again, kept alive by Cedarcrest. Long, deep 3 that goes offline left, won't go. Who gets the ball? It'll be grabbed there finally by Colton Smith. You know, Emmett Turner, the way he's been playing, in the old days we used to call that he's a pain in the butt. Isn't that right? Because he's in your grill the whole time. And I think that foul by Smith was get away from me.
And Turner had been really kind of putting it to him the last few times.
Another offensive foul, another player control foul. It's been a night of player control fouls and foul line infractions.
Oh, goodness. And right there, we had that last bucket for so much by Cameron Benorden. He came back in this game, but you saw that last sequence before for the Red Wolves was all star because he couldn't move his feet without picking up that foul, so he had to let his man get to the hoop. It'll be interesting to see if the Red Wolves can kind of take care of that or maybe exploit that, I should say.
7-point lead for Snohomish. Boy, coming out, Emmett Turner. that time I think Mike DeLong finally made the call because Kevin Stride did not make the call from the far side. But when he got absolutely face bumped, 5 against Emmett Turner. You know what? He earned every one of them.
He absolutely did. And I like seeing that fiery player. I don't mind seeing that one. You kind of call him that pain in the butt right there in a very complimentary way.
Oh, yeah.
And yet I felt he had a couple right at the end there that were a little unnecessary maybe. But, yeah. One thing I'm just gonna point out, it's really neat to see a program atmosphere, a smaller school like Cedarcrest. You got the freshmen and the JV boys over here who already played earlier tonight. They are making a rowdy ruckus here, jumping up and down the stands. That's awesome. It's just exciting to see a program atmosphere that's really supportive on a Saturday night. Not a packed gym, but just a lot of excitement.
Colton Smith 1 for 2 from the free throw line. The lead is 8. The lay-in is no good. The foul is called. And that will send Aaron Davenport to the free throw line for Cedarcrest. That's going to be McDaniel, and picks up his 5th personal foul. So, yeah, it will be Calvin McDaniel has a seat with 5 personals. So we've lost 1 each side. I said we start losing players. See who's left standing at the end of this thing.
Oh, boy. And I don't know if we're going to be done losing players yet. We got a couple up on the court with 4 each.
Free throw here. First one good for Aaron Davenport. And he will get another coming up here. The lead is 7, 50-43. 3:12 to play. 50-44, 6-point lead. Snohomish looking to pass it in. Full court pressure by Cedarcrest. It's Balcarcel and Smith. He'll dribble it into front court. Bounce it over, give it to Benorden. Goes in off the glass, or never hit the glass, just kind of lifted up through. Smart play there by Wyatt Wilson. I'm giving it to you, Cameron. Take it in, please.
Yeah. Cam, you're a little more efficient scorer than I am. You finish this off. I'll get to take an assist on it.
Does Cedarcrest have one more run? Well, running through the defense, which was kind of non-existent there for the Snohomish Panthers, was Lance Stupful, and it's a 6-point lead, 2.5 to play. Wilson to Sparks. Balcarcel double teamed. Splits the defense, bounces it, going in, laying good. Sparks. Nicely done there. And a timeout called here. Oh, the Kevin Stride. They've been having a clock. Would you fix that this week, please? They've been having clock problems all evening long.
I'll work on that. I'll see what I can do after practice tomorrow.
Bring your tools.
Yep.
Just your soldering iron and see if you can get this thing fixed. 2:19 to go.
I'm pretty sure that's part of the job of the AD.
Here's a shot on the way that won't go. Miss. Long, ill-advised pass up the floor. Picked off by Cedarcrest, back the other way. Timeout called by the Red Wolves. We step aside with 2:06 to go in the game. It's 54-46 Snohomish. You're watching high school basketball at STSPN.com.
Did you know that Speedway Chevrolet is part of the Lee Johnson Auto family? That means 84 years of serving you the LJ way. Need a truck? We have the perfect truck to fit your needs. Half tons, 1 ton, 2-wheel drives, and 4-wheel drives. Our finance specialists are here to help you, whether you have good credit or bad credit. We're just off Highway 522 at West Main Street in Monroe.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Welcome back here to Snohomish, the final 2:06 of this one, and we've got ourselves a ball game. Cedarcrest got tantalizingly close at 5 points. Right now it's 8, but Cedarcrest has the basketball. Stupful. It's him top of the key. Swing it over to Siemens. Now to Bush. Bounce pass underneath to Siemens again. 16 to shoot, taking a lot of time here. 13 to shoot, shot on the way. Air ball back up, in, and one. An air ball on a corner 2 ball that would not go, but right there alertly was Aaron Davenport to grab it, lay it in, get fouled, and he'll have a free throw here.
And I'm with Coach Jim Wilson right there, not quite understanding what Carter Sparks is doing caught behind the Cedarcrest Red Wolf right there, Aaron Davenport. Wanted to get in front of him, but whichever way you slice it, now the lead's only up to 5 points.
5 again. Sparks' second personal foul. Both teams will be in the double bonus the rest of the way. But Norton, ball knocked away. Picked off again. Aaron Davenport is having a good night as well. LeBlanc, long three, won't go. And Sparks grabs the rebound. He may have made amends there by grabbing that rebound. Big board up the floor, Balcarcel.
And LeBlanc right there with that pretty release, that ball in the air. He already had those 2 big threes earlier. Thought maybe go back to the well one more time from deep like that.
Now you could probably wait for them to take a foul if Cedarcrest is going to take a foul. Getting deep in the shot clock here now. And now there is a foul.
And that's that one right there. Coach Mark Prince, that kind of feeling of you have the shot clock down to 11. We're past the point of do we foul or not. If you're going to foul in the first 10 seconds, not the last 10 seconds of that shot clock. Unfortunately, now you're putting the Panthers at the free throw line, shooting 2 free throws in the double bonus now.
Luis Balcarcel at the line. The foul had been called on Lance Stuffel. That's his 4th. First free throw good. We're at 1 minute to play in the game, and the lead is at 55-49. 6 points. If it's 7, no, it stays it. So that's 2 possessions here with less than a minute to play. And then a tangle up in back court, and they're going to get Wyatt Wilson with the foul.
And that's going to be 2 shots now because double bonus both ways.
So Wilson picks up the foul. That's his 4th personal. Both team in the double. And free throw here. What Jim Wilson doesn't want is the chance for Cedarcrest to score with a clock stop.
Absolutely. This is the best thing that could happen for the Cedarcrest Red Wolves is to have this clock stopped and trying to put points on the board. Unfortunately, that first free throw wasn't going to go right there for him.
Here's a news break. He didn't commit the lane violation. Next, of course, he didn't hit either free throw either. They're going to call an over-the-back foul there. It's going to be on Aaron Davenport over the top trying to grab that rebound off a couple of missed free throws. So Jim Wilson didn't want Cedarcrest to score with the clock stop. They didn't.
No, they did not. And Cameron Norton, after we've been talking about he's been on the bench, those foul troubles for a lot of the second half, great box out right there. That's really a marquee staple right there, if you will, at the end of a game is make sure you box out the other team, allow them only 1 shot or no shots.
But Norton miss.
Oh, these are killers right here.
Weren't we at 56.5? Shouldn't some time have come off the clock off that rebound, off that miss?
Well, I guess the clock starts when the ball is tapped, so it might have been a half a second max. But
yeah. Okay. 56-49, the lead is 7. 3 possessions, and that possession goes awry in a travel. After Norton got the basketball, he traveled with the ball, give it right back over to Cedarcrest. With 49.8 to go. And let's keep it right here during the timeout. 56-49, the lead for Snohomish. 49.8 seconds to go in the basketball game. Your head coach, Mark Prince, what are you saying?
Well, right now, I mean,
need a 2, we need a 3. What are we doing?
I want a bucket and I want it quick. If you have
any variety,
right now. I mean, when you're down by 7 at this moment, it's a 3-possession game as it is right now, regardless of 2s or 3s really, and so it's a must-score situation, obviously. But if you come away, if you come out empty here, game's pretty much over.
Right.
So it's definitely get a bucket. I would say get a quick 2, foul. But talk about maybe picking your free throw shooters, who you want to try to attack. I obviously would try to not foul Benorden or Smith. Put somebody else on the line and see if you can't get something out of that. But get a quick bucket, maybe a quick backdoor cut, lay-in. Snohomish has given up a few of those tonight. See if you can't get a 3-point play out of it.
But you've said it 3 times there, quick, quick, and quick.
Quick and quick, and if you can get it quicker than quick, that'd be even better.
So what is Jim Wilson saying down here as they're going to play defense?
Really watch your backdoor cuts. Force them to have I would force the Red Wolves, which Carter Sparks might want to realize they're on defense right now. It's going to help if you have 5 on 5. 5 on 5.
Looking to throw it in. Here's The Red Wolves with the basketball.
Going back to the corners for Bush right there. See if they couldn't get a three-pointer out of it.
They'll put it up with the right hand. It won't go. Sparks grabs another rebound. Big board there for Carter Sparks. Double team to backcourt is Colton Smith, and now it'll be some free throws coming up here as Cedarcrest has no choice but to send Colton Smith to the free throw line.
And that was one of those right there. It almost felt like Tony Churlin was expecting a foul to occur, and he kind of called it thinking they were going to try to foul. I think actually Red Bulls were trying to get a 10-second backcourt first, get a trap, try to go for the steal before the foul. Unfortunately, that fouled out Lance Stupful right there.
So he goes to the bench. We've lost 3. And Colton Smith at the free throw line for the Panthers. 36 seconds to go. Free throw there makes it 8 points. You're still at 3 possessions. Time is quickly fading away. Next one, a couple of big free throws there for Colton Smith.
Smith working on 23 points of the night so far.
Dribbling down, Smith also gets a steal. Then he goes to the floor. And a little extracurricular activity there. And I think Kevin Stride is kind of looking like, are we going to do something a little extra here?
Well, and Stride right there called he's going to call a flagrant on that, or an intentional foul is the old name for it. But
okay, so Kevin Stride. No. Oh, black. So a pushing foul and a technical foul. The technical's on Aaron Davenport. The common foul is on Brennan Mallett. And Colton Smith's going to be at the free throw line for about 4 free throws.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened with that technical there.
Well, I think after the play had stopped, first free throw good by Smith. After the play had stopped, he threw him to the ground. Is that?
Yeah.
So they're going to say technical rather than a foul.
Well, and they called 2 fouls. They called the personal foul and afterwards a technical. And I'm not really sure if there was something that was said or something to that effect by Davenport. But honestly, in those situations, it's usually a pretty at the end of the game, it's pretty intense. You're trying to make sure you get that foul called. I don't know. I don't think Colton Smith felt it was probably deserving of technical if you asked him. But unfortunately for the Red Wolves, 4 free throws.
3 for 3, 3 for 3. So we had 4 free throws, got 3 of them. The lead is 12, and that should put it into the win column for the Snohomish Panthers. And Snohomish will break a 5-game losing streak. And our final timeout, we'll take it here along with Cedarcrest. 28.4 to go, Snohomish by 12. You're watching high school basketball on STSPN.com.
Did you know that Speedway Chevrolet is part of the Lee Johnson Auto family? That means 84 years of serving you the LJ way. Need a truck? We have the perfect truck to fit your needs. Half tons, 1 ton, 2-wheel drives, and 4-wheel drives. Our finance specialists are here to help you, whether you have good credit or bad credit. We're just off Highway 522 at West Main Street in Monroe.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
A recovery plan tailored to his or her specific needs. Our rehabilitative experts use a variety of physical therapy techniques in a friendly, supportive atmosphere. IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. Here we go, final 28.4 seconds. They'll blow the horn just before it goes in. I'm not sure why, but they're going to just reset things. Here we go. Throwing it in, Snohomish. Smith in backcourt. About 25 seconds ago, shot clock is dead, foul called. And that will foul Chris Bush out of the game. And Tony Churlin saying, leave your shirt tucked in until you exit the floor. I think you hand it to Cedarcrest. They put up a pretty good battle.
I'm really impressed with their third quarter specifically. They really came out, really had that fire. I mean, I don't know what Mark Prince said to him at halftime, but it surely worked because that got that lead from what was 17 in the first half. I think it was 13 or 14 possibly at the early stages of the third quarter. That cut it down to 5. Cut it down to 5 a number of times here. It's back up to 12, but really give it to them for a tough loss last night on the road. I believe it was on the road, actually, and it was a conference game to turn around, come to Snohomish, play this game right here, and put up a tough battle in the second half specifically. Really impressed by the fire and tenacity they have to at least make this a great game.
Corner 3 ball, rims out, no, 13 seconds to go, back up and in. The bucket there by Brendan Mallett. The final tally is going to be about 11 points, but a much closer game than that as Colton Smith brings it out of backcourt, and it will be the Snohomish Panthers on a home court, picks up a 62-51 win over the Cedarcrest Red Wolves. Stay with us. We'll come back and have our player of the game brought to you by Speedway Chevrolet. Speedway Chevrolet in Monroe, since the year 2000, our family-owned and operated dealership has provided high-quality Chevrolet cars, trucks, and SUVs to Everett, Linwood, Bothell, and the surrounding cities. Our extensive inventory of new and used vehicles is online for your convenience. Thanks to all of our sponsors tonight. We'll step aside, come back with our player of the game, Luis Balcarcel. Snohomish 62, Cedarcrest 51. You've been watching high school basketball here on STSPN.com.
We are all frustrated with the high cost of heating and cooling our homes. At GNS, we are completely changing the way you keep your home comfortable. Our Mitsubishi electric cooling and heating system allows you to control the temperature in each room separately, all of which can be controlled from your smartphone or tablet. And because we are the mini split experts here in Washington, we can design a perfect system for you, one that will save you a lot of money on your utility bill. Call GNS Heating, Cooling, and Electrical today or visit us at gsheating.com.
And we welcome you back here live to Snohomish High School, where tonight the Snohomish Panthers pick up the win 62-51 over the Cedarcrest Red Wolves. Our Speedway Chevrolet player of the game, Luis Balcarcel. And I gave you a nickname about halfway through the second quarter, the answer man. Didn't we? We thought.
Absolutely.
Joel and I thought they scored a 3, you came down, answered. And then there was a time a little bit later on in the ball game, they scored a 3, you came down and answered. Did you think about that, or is that just, hey, I've got an open 3, here we go?
I didn't really think about that. I was just going with the flow of our offense, and if I had an open look, I have the confidence to take the shot.
You have the green light all the time?
I mean.
Or is it sometimes Coach Wilson say it's a yellow light?
Sure, you can say it's a yellow light.
Well, tonight it was pretty green for you. Had 3 nice threes, really some real quick releases. Talk about it a little bit. Cedarcrest was really trying to put some pressure on you guys kind of in that second half, specifically third quarter got away from you a little bit, but you guys had that energy to stick with it. Talk about kind of what was said in the huddle, what was said in those timeouts in that fourth quarter that really kind of helped spur you guys on to keep that lead.
Well, Coach was just telling us to, slow the pace down. Just, make the easy pass. Don't force anything, and, communicate when they were trapping us.
So tell us about Cedarcrest makes a run there toward the end. What were you guys thinking? Was it like, uh-oh, here we go again? Or was it like, I got this, we got this?
Well, you have to be resilient. You have to have that mentality that you're going to win no matter what, So, they made a run, but, we kept it going. We stayed on top, and we got the W.
Well, good luck. Congratulations. Good job. You broke a 5-game losing streak, so it's got to feel good.
Oh, yeah, that feels really good.
And heading up to Arlington on Tuesday night.
Yep.
Good. Congratulations. Thanks. There you go.
Great
That's
game.
Luis Balcarcel, our player of the game, brought to you by Speedway Chevrolet. We'll get him a shirt, and that is it. Thanks again to all of our sponsors tonight, the Lake Stevens Ace Hardware Store, Fred's Rivertown Ale House, McDaniel's Do-It Center, American Family Insurance, by GNS Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, by Speedway Chevrolet, by Fox Sports 1380 and FM 95.3, and IRG Murphy's Corner Physical Therapy. Interesting ball game here tonight.
Interesting ball game. Had a lot of runs in it. Had some different leads, but in the end, the Snohomish Panthers with a win that breaks that losing streak we were talking about. And again, it helps their RPI.
Helps the everything. It really is. Speaking as a coach, everything has to do now with the RPI.
You can throw out all the rankings, any newspaper rankings, but it's the RPI. And it's all about playing the best non-league schedule you can find to, at the end, have all those wins by your non-league opponents just bumping you up the RPI. It's all about the RPI now.
So thanks again to our statistician, Dylan Wells, to our executive producer, Todd Elvig. I'm Tom Lafferty with Joel Boyer. Thanks for being with us live right here. The final score, the Snohomish Panthers 62, the Cedarcrest Red Wolves 51. Good night, everybody.